there's so many cards out there that are ungraded that if we can lower the cost, increase the turnaround time, make common cards more valuable, introduce the hobby to younger kids, put proof cards in the stands at all the sporting events, halftime giveaway, seventh inning stretch, whatever. If we can say to the consumer, look, your card's not that valuable. Don't incur the expense of grading and don't incur the expense of handling and the time of handling and shipping, insuring, whatever. Don't send us your card to grade. We'll send you the technology. Listen to that carefully. Our plan is that we're not going into business to have a whole bunch of people send us cards. We're going into business to have a whole bunch of technology delivered to the market. And that's where our market is. We're not looking for the people that are doing business with PSA or Beckett or SGC. There's no reason. There's billions of cards out there. They're doing 15 million cards combined. There's billions of cards out there that aren't graded. Wait, I didn't even say. We've met with manufacturing companies. We've been told that, for example, there's more soccer cards made in a World Cup year in countries outside the United States than all the sports cards that are made in the United States those 4 years.
Wow.
So what do you have? A bunch of group submitters? Not even a bunch. A handful of group submitters that get enough cards together that they can send to a U.S. grading company? Or you have a grading company here that contemplates opening up a brick and mortar shop that with labor cost and rent and we plan on having our technology in those markets and having the cloud be our labor force and our brick and mortar. So we're not even looking at the existing grading companies. They don't represent anything to us in our business plan.
Okay. No, fair enough. I think despite the business plan, some people will still want to, use Tag over another company that they've been using just because, it's going to be more accurate, consistent, and reproducible. I think at least those should be important qualities qualities of a grading company. Can you speak a little bit more about those? I've seen some comments in the chat about them, and I saw someone say that consistency is very important, reproducible is important. Is there anything else you've spoken to them, but is there anything else you'd like to say about those three attributes?
Yeah.
Accuracy, consistency, and reproducibility.
My mind kind of wandered, and in that question, you started by making another comment as the intro to that, and
I just said that some people will, shift their business from one company to another, and all the existing companies have their loyalists, and the hobby is very used to those companies. So I like that you're setting out not to take that business away, but to really grow the overall grading submissions across the world.
Yeah. To that point, if I might offer a comment, and it's just my personal opinion. As a general rule, the person who's making a decision on where to get a card graded today is the owner of the card or the influencer and how, where, and when that card gets sold. And what we want to do is we want to present our technology to the market on the buy side. I want the person who's buying a card for $10,000, $3,000, $20,000 to say, I'll buy the card. I agree to the price, but I want that card tagged. I want to see the detailed grading report. I want to see exactly what the defects are. And so we're not looking for the quote submitter of the cards to decide that we're a good place to get a card graded. We want his buyer to say, I'll buy the card. I'll pay the price. I'll even pay you more money, but I want the card tagged. So I did want to add that thought that I'm not so sure it's the sellers who determine where cards are graded as much as the buy side.
Yeah, that sounds fair to me. Definitely. Okay. And then it was asking you to just speak a bit more towards accuracy, consistency, and reproducibility. If there's anything else you'd like to say about them and how they've worked into the mission of Tag.
I think we've kind of covered it. I could speak on the subject of each of those for hours. And and bore the audience to death. But
well, let's keep going.
Okay.
Unless you have anything else to say, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that they're extremely important. I think that there's almost only two components to the value of a card. One of them is the scarcity of the card, and the other one is the condition of the card. And sometimes they can operate independently. You could have even a trimmed Honus Wagner that sells for more money than it did before people knew it was trimmed. I guess you could say also that provenance can play a part in the value of a card, but I think more so than anything, scarcity and condition. So the scarcity is impacted by counterfeits. You think that there's only X number of those cards and find out that somebody has run off 10, 20 versions of the card, and all of a sudden it's not scarce. The condition of the card is problematic or can be problematic. Not if the person who buys the card from you cares as little about the condition of the card as you do when you get it graded. So if you're the typical person who grades a card, you don't care what the grade of the card is, as long as it meets your expectations as far as how high the grade you want. So if you expect that a card you submit is going to be a 9 and you get back a 10, I doubt you are ever going to complain about the grading company. If you submit a card that you expect a 9 and you get back an 8, what do? Well, you crack the slab, you resubmit it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I've had people tell me they've done as many as 9. That's because you're dissatisfied with the grade. It didn't meet your expectations. So I think that consistency in grading is very important. Everybody needs to know the grade is the grade, but you can't do that unless you can tell people and show people why. So I don't think somebody cares if there's a defect that impacts a card by 80 points. I don't think they say this should be 65 points. This should be 88 points. I think where they feel cheated and where they complain is when they get it with an 80-point defect and somebody else with the apparently same defect ends up getting 40 points of deduction, and they get a 9.5 and you get a 9. That's very common, by the way, in my reading, particularly with centering, which people are able to look at and make good calculations. And I've seen a lot of articles written about how can this get ABC score on centering when it's blank blank, and this card is worse and gets a better grade. That to me is frustrating to the industry, and I don't think there's any reason for it. I think consistency will resolve that. We want to provide consistency to the industry. I don't know whether we hook up with a large retailer and put our grading pods in retail locations. I don't know whether or not we ask eBay if they would be interested in providing some consistent grading to their platform. I don't know whether or not we've been approached by a shopping center magnate. I think he owned 110 or 120 shopping centers, who said, I'll put one of these pods in every one of my shopping centers. We've had calls from Europe, from the UK, Spain, Germany, Italy, India, Pakistan, Japan, China.
How have they found you? Because you've been pretty under the radar.
They didn't. They called us because of our patents. And they wanted to know, have you vacated the patents? Where are you at in the development? When will you be doing this? Can we get an exclusive? Let me throw in Canada and Mexico into that group. So I know there's opportunity there. I'm not sure whether we are the flag bearers of bringing that opportunity forward, or whether we will associate with the prominent people who will help us bring it forward. I just know what we have is something that should be valued by the industry, and over time it will be.
Well, again, as I said at the beginning, I've been to the facility. I've seen the technology. I've seen the pods. I was blown away was blown away, and it's been difficult for me not to talk about this over the last couple of months as I've been, as we decided to do this series and reveal it here today and over the next 4 episodes. But I was very, very impressed.
We've had very few people here, as you know, very few. You could count them on one hand. And every person that's been here the feedback has been similar to yours. And we're proud of that. This is the first time on the 25th, we're actually going to be, I think, moving some kind of camera, or I don't know how the guys will do it. We have very capable guys, but we're going to be, people are going to see the operation. And I'll tell them in advance, they will be very surprised. We don't need a 140,000 square foot building. We don't need a lot of people running around. As a matter of fact, we don't hire a single grader. That's a pretty interesting statement. We're a grading company. We do not hire anybody that is an experienced grader. Don't want them.